10 of the strangest laws in the world. Our world needs rules and laws in order to operate in a sane way. However, a few nations go beyond the norms of forming laws and create laws that are downright peculiar. A few of the laws around the world are so strange that sometimes we need a moment to comprehend them. A few times, we even start thinking if the stated law is true or not. Nonetheless, we need to understand that every country is different from the other. Hence, a law that looks okay to the citizens of one country might not look okay to the other. Before we start with the countdown, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tap on the bell icon for more amazing videos. So, let's not waste any more time and dig right into it to check out the 10 of the strangest laws in the world. It's illegal to chew gum in Singapore. Well, we have to suffer for the sins of others, it's true and unfortunate at the same time. So, when vandals made use of chewing gum to destroy the mass rapid transit system, and the Housing and Development Board spent $150,000 a year to clean gum litter, Singapore decided to ban chewing gum and its related substances in 1992 in order to avoid such damages in the future. Therefore, any business related to making chewing gum or selling it is deemed illegal in Singapore. If someone is found to be guilty of the crime, he or she would have to pay a fine or serve in jail. Obviously, the government can't risk destroying its own places, so they have enforced this law in order to remain on the safe side. However, there is an exception to the absurd law in which nicotine dental gums are allowed to be manufactured due to their medical value. So, chewing gum can't be your stress buster if you are in Singapore. Canadian radio stations must play Canadian artists. No doubt about the fact that Canada is an extremely patriotic nation. They support their own talent and go to any extent in order to do so. Hence, there is a law that says that Canadian radio stations need to play Canadian artists at any cost. Every country should give enough mediums to its own artists and learn a lesson or two from Canada. The law states that at least 35% of the time, the radio stations must play Canadian artists, especially the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. So, during the workweek, you'll have to listen more than 20 minutes of tracks coming from the popular talent of Canada, such as Nickelback, Alanis Morissette, Celine Dion, Michael Bublé and Justin Bieber. The Canadian nation must be really proud of all of them. It's illegal to run out of gas on the German autobahn. The German autobahn is definitely a heaven for all car enthusiasts due to the excessive speed limits. A driver can drive a car at around 100 miles per hour on this venue and show off his or her skills of driving. However, if you go out of gas at this very point, count yourself in some deep trouble. If you run out of gas, you'll be fined heavily. But if you decide to go to a nearby gas station, you'll be fined even more. Well, Germans are of the thought that you can keep your car gassed up all the time. Hence, if you run out of it, it's clearly your fault and you need to be taught a lesson. Also, it's quite dangerous to roam here and there on the highway. Therefore, keep monitoring the gas gauge in order to avoid such grave problems. Plus, fill up the tank before you reach German autobahn, because once you reach this place, there is absolutely no room for error. You can't stop here. It's illegal to hike naked in Switzerland. A few bunches of Swiss and German tourists decided to hike naked a decade ago. The bunch was quite enthusiastic to try unusual ways of hiking. But the Swiss government was swift enough to remind them about the public indecency law which needs to be followed. Otherwise, you'll have to pay a hefty fine. If you don't believe us, do a search on the internet for the Swiss guy who went for a walk, bare-bottomed in 2011. Thus, he was fined more than $100 for his antics. So, don't be like this guy and wear some nice clothes so that you are able to save a few bucks. When in Switzerland, make sure to dress up nicely. It's illegal to feed pigeons in Venice. You might think that feeding a pigeon is a good deed and must be encouraged. However, the Venice government thinks differently. You will find thousands of pigeons at St. Mark's Square, waiting for a treat from the tourists. Nonetheless, the authorities have strictly made it clear not to feed the pigeons in this area. Avoid it, please. The law has been enforced since 2008, and if you are caught doing so, you'll be fined around €700, more or less, which you would never want to pay, and I am sure of it. So let pigeons find their own meal while you have a look at the majestic beauty of Venice. It's illegal to wear high heels to the Acropolis. When heading towards a trip to Greece, make sure to not pack a pair of heels, as it is not allowed to be worn. The country banned high heels at the Acropolis in 2009. Hence, say no to your lovely pair of heels and pack joggers instead. Well, to be honest, the place is also not suitable for you to wear heels. You'll be trekking around the ruins, and the mud might destroy the heels. However, it's not the reason to ban it. The authorities banned heels in order to ensure the safety of the ruins, which could have been wrecked due to the sharp shoes. The ruins are 2,500 years old. So, as a tourist, it's your responsibility to take care of a heritage site by wearing some soft shoes. Don't wear your Winnie the Pooh t-shirt in Poland. The cuddly, comfy, cute bear is a definite love for everyone, but not for Poland. You know why? Well, the bear does not wear pants, that's why it's illegal in Poland to wear a t-shirt donning Winnie the Pooh. The authorities banned it from the playgrounds and schools as they thought that the A.A. Milne character is a bit too risky for the tender and susceptible young minds. So, be safe and never carry Winnie the Pooh attire to the Eastern European countries. Men must wear Speedos on French beaches. French law states that men have to wear Speedos on beaches, pools, and other public places where a swimsuit is required. They can't wear loose shorts or anything like that. The reason behind enforcing the law is too absurd. The authorities think that men don't wear a Speedo in their daily life. Hence, when they would arrive on a beach or a pool, wearing a Speedo, the garment would be totally clean, guaranteeing the hygiene factor. So, if you dress up in a loose-fitting trunk, forget about getting a dip in the water. It's illegal to wear a suit of armor in British Parliament. We all know how much you love to wear a suit of armor, that too while visiting the British Parliament, in order to feel the actual vibe of a war. But, unfortunately, that's illegal. Well, the law is quite old and dates back to 1313 when it was actually enforced, confusing the people as to what might be the importance of this law. Back then, everyone was fascinated by an armor suit. But, do let us know if you still love the sight of it. The British government might annul the law, considering its insignificance, but are you ready to wear it and feel the wartime vibe once again? It's illegal to wear camouflage in much of the Caribbean. Camouflage is everyone's favorite, but you are not allowed to wear it in most parts of the Caribbean. So, be careful. We recommend you don't pack the camouflage attire at all when deciding to head to the Caribbean. Not in all the Caribbean, but in most of the Caribbean, you can't wear camouflage. For example, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbuda, and Jamaica are a few names where you can think of wearing a camouflage attire. The authorities decided to put a ban on such dressing in order to make it specific to the military personnel. Only military personnel adorns camouflage suits and no one else can. So, here we have come to an end of our list that showcases 10 of the most absurd, weird, and unusual laws all over the world that we fail to understand. Nonetheless, if there are these laws in place, we are no one to question them, rather only to follow them in order to avoid all sorts of inconveniences.